Welcome to Unity of Flagstaff. I am Reverend Penny Honey. Thank you for joining us, and happy 4th of July. Today we'll be talking about independence, interdependence, and our freedoms, and our spiritual practices around all that. Lots to talk about, so let's get started with this YouTube video.
When in the course of human events,
在人类活动的过程中
In the course of human events,
عندما نكون في مضمار الأحداث البشرية.
Quand dans le cours des événements humains,
becomes increasingly necessary
Para reconocer
to recognize the fundamental qualities
yang menghubungkan kita.
that connect us.
That connect us.
That connect us.
Après ça, n'oubliez pas lier.
the truths we hold
To be self-evident.
Alors nous devons réévaluer les vérités que nous tenons pour acquises.
That all humans are
created equal.
And all are connected.
比如每一个人都是生来平等，并且联系在一起的。
That we share the pursuits of life,
La recherche d'une vie meilleure.
Liberty, الخيروط,
happiness,
kebahagiaan,
food,
والغذاء, water,
Agua.
shelter,
El refugio.
seguridad,
education,
pendidikan,
Justice.
and hopes for a better future.
That our collective knowledge
Economy,
technology, and environment are
fundamentally interdependent.
interdependent.
ketergantungan kita.
that what will propel us forward
لأن لدينا شجاعة على التقدير.
is our curiosity.
Curiosité.
rasa ingin tahu kita.
Our ability to forgive, kemampuan kita untuk memaafkan,
Our ability to appreciate.
Our courage.
our courage,
Keberanian kita.
and our desire to connect.
D'être connecté.
equality.
That these things we share
في نهاية المطاف إلا تطور.
To our fullest common potential.
Le cose che noi teniamo insieme sono le cose del nostro mondo.
我们应该严肃对待我们的问题。
We should never take ourselves too seriously.
Kwa sababu jambo jingine linalotuunganisha huwa kudratana ala tahan.
Dan upaya kita untuk belajar dari kesalahan kita.
So that we can learn from the past
Understand our place in the world.
Memahami tempat kita di dunia.
Use our collective knowledge.
To create a better future.
去创造一个更美好的未来。
So perhaps it's time
Jadi mungkin sudah saatnya kita
That we, as a species,
sebagai spesies, as a species,
Love to laugh.
que disfruta de reír.
love to laugh,
Poser questions.
ask questions, and connect.
Do something radical and true. For centuries,
we have declared
independence,
Perhaps it's now time
that we
as humans,
Declare our interdependence.
Interdependenza.
Interdependence.
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 Interdépendance.
So that gives us something to think about. And here at Unity of Flagstaff, that is our intention, to open our hearts and our minds to new ways of thinking and seeing the world, so that we may be transformed to a greater expression. So welcome again. For more information about our ministry, check us out at www.unityofflagstaff.org. Obviously, you can also donate there, and we appreciate the continued support here in this thriving ministry. And now I would like to introduce Trina Getz. Enjoy her vocals, her creativity, and the song that she brings to us.
Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. Ain't gonna study war no more. I 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 ain't gonna study war no more. I'm gonna lay down my fear and doubt down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Down by the riverside, I'm gonna lay down my fear and doubt. Down by the riverside, ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more, no. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I'm gonna lay down my judgment too, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my judgment too, down by the riverside. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more, no more, no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Get ready. We're gonna rise up with all my love down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna rise up with all my love down by the riverside. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more, Lord. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more.
Thank you, Trina. Thank you again for your musical talent, and of course a shout out to you for all of this video editing that you do. You're making us look good. We appreciate you. So where was the Constitution signed? Well, at the bottom of the page, of course. Did you know that when the Declaration of Independence was read aloud in front of City Hall by George Washington, he was met, of course, with cheers and excitement, but a few hours later, a statue of George III was torn down and a riot ensued. Did you know that the Declaration and the Constitution were hidden away during World War II? Both documents were packed up about 2 weeks after Pearl Harbor, and they were given a military escort to Fort Knox in Kentucky, and they stayed there until late into 1944. Even though the document was not actually signed until August 2nd, you know, the picture of all the folks gathered around doing the signing, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. But even though it wasn't signed until August 2nd, we celebrate on July 4th. We celebrate what we so affectionately call Independence Day. And check this out. On the document itself, nowhere does it say Declaration of Independence. The word united is used multiple times, but is actually entitled A Declaration by the Representatives of America, General Congress Assembled. Now, how about that? Historically, it's a time for barbecues and gatherings and fireworks and ice cream, but the times they are a-changin'. This year, much of that has been, shall we say, downsized. And like so much that's happening in 2020, we're being given the opportunity to reframe and experience tradition in a new way. Perhaps even get a new thought about it. Perhaps a new thought about the significance and the meaning of this event that we call Independence Day. And like the Declaration, we're not actually doing it on the date of the 4th, as this message is coming to you after the 4th. But so many huge, historical, changing events have occurred because of this document. On behalf of this document, wars have been fought and won. Some have just been fought. Thousands have died defending its content. And there's not a life listening to this message right now that has not been touched by this document. I give great thanks for those that have gone before us, who have sacrificed for the defense of the contents of this document. I'm honored to be a part of this country. Today, I recognize, as we contemplate the complexity of our country, the complexity of this nation, we have the opportunity to look at our independence. What does it mean? What does it represent in today's world, in our lives today, and how it expresses in a world that is so different than our founders could have imagined? And we can still draw from its wisdom and, like our founders, seek to understand and promote the unalienable rights that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And as FDR reminds us in his Four Freedoms speech, as depicted by Norman Rockwell, freedom of speech, freedom of worship, freedom from fear, and freedom from want. That these freedoms should be enjoyed, and this is verbiage, by the way, that was added by FDR in the 4th draft of his famous speech, that these freedoms should be enjoyed by every human being. It is upon these things that we have built an exceptional nation. And yet, I wonder sometimes if in our desire to express these freedoms and our independence, if we have forgotten the power and the necessity for interdependence. An underlying concept that is woven throughout the fabric of our stars and stripes. I mean, consider all the elements of the flag itself. The 13 stripes that represent the 13 original colonies, the 50 stars that represent the 50 states, and the thousands of threads that hold it all together. The thousands of people that hold it all together. Each one, each thread, each individual required for the completeness of the other. In unity, we teach we are one, and we are encouraged to be our greatest individual expression. And remember that we are all one. As we look at these freedoms, we begin to see the alignment and the interdependence that runs right through our unity principles. For instance, the freedom of speech, The freedom of speech is expressing our highest selves. The freedom to be the expression of who we are called to be. This is the freedom of speech. The freedom to worship. In our fifth principle, we live the truth we know. And the truth is that which brings us peace. The truth that we find solace in. And this is the freedom of worship. Freedom from want. We are co-creators creating reality, as we state in principle number 3. We ensure our freedom from want when we remember that we are one with the abundance of the universe and that we have the power to co-create abundance. And the freedom from fear. We secure our freedom from fear as we remember unity principle number 1. There is only one presence, one power. And because of our freedom of worship, we can call it by whatever name we choose. At Unity, we choose the name God. But what we know is, whatever you call it, it is good. This is the freedom from fear. When we have every opportunity to remember this, we can move away from fear. And again, these freedoms should be enjoyed by every human being. Interdependence is people, animals, organizations, things depending on each other. If COVID-19 has taught us anything, it has taught us that we truly are all connected. Charles Fillmore reminds us that freedom is the state of being without thought or restraint. Bondage, limitations, or repression. Freedom is having a sense of complete well-being. Complete well-being. The success and the forward motion of our independence is dependent upon our seeing and seeking out ourselves from the bondage of not seeing beyond our own independence and acknowledging our interdependence without restraint. To truly be free, we can't be restrained or limited or held in bondage by our thoughts of limitation, our thoughts that limit our connection to all of life, to all of nature, to our planet, to all of our animals, to people, to each other. To truly be free, we cannot be restrained from this. Ernest Holmes reminds us, the founder of religious science, that the idea of freedom itself is tied up with the true concept of the unity of good. We are all tied to an indivisible unity. And I quote Madam Secretary, and yes, I mean the TV show. Our independence is about building each other up and embracing our diversity as the source of our nation's strength. We the people means all the people. Thank you, Madam Secretary. And I would add, I believe it is the source of our global strength. Interdependence does not compromise our independence. They are not two opposing ideas, but two complementary practices. And these two practices can be seen in our spiritual teachings, be it the Christians, the Catholics, the Jews, the Muslims, the Baha'i, our Native Americans. It expresses through the Hinduism, Sikhism, Islam, Neo-paganism, Rastafari spiritualism, Judaism, African traditionalism, Buddhism, Chinese traditionalism, secular, non-religious, and the list goes on. Each voicing their independence, seeking expression. And when one is allowed to express, it inherently demands that all must be allowed to express. And therein lies the interdependence. One group's freedom to express is dependent upon the freedom being available to all. Freedoms that build us up. Freedoms that celebrate our diversity for every human being. When we look closely at the tapestry of humankind's celebration of its independence, we cannot help but see the thousands of threads that make up our interdependence, holding it all together. And we are blessed and better for it. Now, in just a minute, we're going to have the pleasure of hearing Bruce Higgins perform the Bobby Darin song, Simple Song of Freedom. Yes, this song was probably controversial in 1970, and possibly it still is. And that's okay. You have my email, I'm listening. But it's sentiment, a simple song of freedom. Tell the people everywhere, we the people don't want to war. It's a cry. It's a cry to recognize that what is done for or to one is done to us all. It is a cry to see our interdependence, to see the connection between all and for all. Now, historically, our expression of freedom has required us to raise arms, and I am grateful for those who have been there to defend this country and the content of our declaration. It has asked us to see our differences, but things, they are a-changin'. Perhaps it's just like our 4th of July celebration, our high school graduations this year, our family gatherings, our birthdays, our weddings. The world is requiring us to do things differently. The world is requiring us to do a lot of things differently. Perhaps it is a simple song of freedom to celebrate our independence as we acknowledge our interdependence. Happy 4th of July.
Good morning. The song I'd like to sing for you today was written in 1971 or perhaps 1970, at a time of a lot of demonstrations and desire for peace, an overwhelming public desire. I've sung it to myself over the years on occasion, and I thought I'd sing it for you today. I thought about changing some of the words, but in thinking about what's going on today, maybe it's better just to leave them as they were, because it's fairly similar. The song was popularized by Tim Hardin, and it was written by Bobby Darin. It is a simple song of freedom. Come and sing a simple song of freedom. Sing it like you've never sung before. Let it fill the air, tell the people everywhere. We the people here don't want a war. Hey there, Mr. Blackman, can you hear me? I don't want your diamonds or your game. I just want to be someone known to you as me. And I will bet my life you want the same. So come and sing a simple song of freedom. Sing it like you've never sung before. Let it fill the air, tell the people everywhere. We the people here don't want a war. 700 million, are you listening? Most of what you read is made of lies. But speaking one-to-one, ain't it everybody's son to wake up in the morning when we rise? So come and sing a simple song of freedom. Sing it like you've never sung before. Let it Mr. Solzhenitsyn, are you busy? If not, won't you drop this friend a line and tell me if the man who is plowing up your land has got the war machine upon his mind? And come and sing a simple song of freedom. Sing it like you've never sung before. Let it fill the air, tell the people everywhere. We the people here don't want a war. Now no doubt some folks enjoy doing battle, like presidents, prime ministers, and kings. So let's all build them shells where they can fight amongst themselves and leave the people be who love to sing. So we'll come and sing a simple old song of freedom. We'll sing it like you've never sung before. We'll let it fill the air, tell the people everywhere. We the people here don't want a war. I said let it fill the air, tell the people everywhere. We the people here don't want a war. Oh, freedom! 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 Whoa, yeah! Have a blessed Independence Day.
Thank you again, my friends, for joining us here at Unity of Flagstaff. Remember, if you want more information about the ministry, check it out at www.unityofflagstaff.org. And be sure and check out our Friday night How You Doing Hootenanny. That link is on the website. And don't forget, you can find your meditation moment right here on this YouTube channel. So happy Independence Day. Happy Interdependence Day. And don't forget, Monday, July 6th is the last day to register to vote. Please do so. Exercise your independence as you affirm our interdependence. Namaste.